Alright, welcome back. This is MDawg. We're playing Fisher Online. We're checking out the brand new map, the USA map called Thousand Islands. Quick explanation, I have gone through a medical procedure recently. I'm in the process of recovering from that, so it's just sort of limited my ability to spend a whole lot of time at the computer, basically. I'm doing okay. Everything's going well with recovery. Appreciate folks who have reached out and asked how I was doing. And hopefully in the coming days, I will have more and more, more of the ability to kind of get back to our normal pace of both streaming and creating YouTube videos on various games, including this one, Fisher Online. So this USA Thousand Islands map, which is here, this did come out a couple days ago, I think, and it's funny. I made an intro video to this map when it came out, and got finished making it and realized that I was so uncomfortable the whole time I was making it that I was rushing and just kind of miserable. So I quickly deleted that and just said it was just realized bad timing. I wasn't going to be able to kind of get a whole lot. And even now, if I'm being honest, I am going to just have to sort of be focused here. And I'm not going to be able to spend a whole lot of time. I haven't really been able to fish much on this map. So there's really one thing that I wanted to try based on what I saw in the store. And I'll cycle through this real quick. There are some new things available here. And we'll try to go into more detail on some of this later on. And when I have a chance to actually fish this map, I'll try to talk about some of the things I found. But one of the things that stood out to me are these new Salmon GT1 spoons, pretty decent size, 38 gram spoons. And it specifically mentions they're for salmon fishing, but they're also suitable for shore and trolling. So it immediately made me curious of, and what I thought I would try here is, specifically on this map, how is it trolling these lures? So we've got a couple of nice boats. This new bass boat is awesome, and I can't wait to get out there and find some of the bass spots on our bass boat, but that's just not in the cards for me tonight, to be honest with you. So what we're going to do is just a little bit of trolling here and see, in fact, if I think we'll take a left up here. So yeah, we'll start going left up here and see if, in fact, it does work all right. So let's get out here and take that off. And let's go ahead and line these up. So where are our new ones? Here we go. So we'll just start with we'll start with 1, 2, and 3, I guess, and throw them out here a little bit and troll them around a little bit and see if we actually are catching fish. You know, when this little bit of time I've looked at this map, it strikes me that there's the number 2. Let's get that going. It strikes me that a lot of the fish on this map, the predators at least, it's really going to make more sense to be either casting from the shore or casting from a boat, sort of patrolling the shore or jigging the deep waters. I'm not sure how much of this is going to be a trolling map per se, looking at the fish that are on the lake, but that's why I wanted to do this, because these lures that got introduced here are specifically mentioned for trolling. So let's see what kind of fish we're catching here. I will quickly show the fish on the map. There's a large pink salmon. That's a really good sign. 2280 on XP. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even realize pink salmon were on this map. That's how little time I've spent looking at it. So we're discovering this together here right now. Let's go ahead and get the third one out there. Let's see. We'll go with GT3. So if any of them seem to not be catching fish, I guess we could rotate it. So we caught that one just as we were entering into the deeper part here. Ooh, goodness. Let's go ahead and get this turned. We're going to go left of this island over here. We do have another fish on, but let's see what we've got here. We actually might have 2 fish on. Oh, this is a nice one. All right, so let's go ahead and turn the engine off in this case. I could be wrong. It might be just this one fish is on. I thought that third line might have had one, but I think that's just from where we were turning. It was getting a little bit of bend there. Well, that first pink salmon catching a large one like that was very good on XP. I mean, of course, we won't know about silver till we wrap this up, but that was an exciting start and not something I was expecting. There's a lot of fish on this lake. And, you know, when you just base it off of the records, in other words, if you go and look and see, okay, well, what's the largest, you know, whatever fish, what's it been caught on? And, you know, let's say it might say it's bait fish. And so that kind of makes you think, oh, okay, so do I need to get out there with my feeders? And there's a large brown trout. Oh, this is working out really nice, over 1,000 XP. So far, this is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and get this going again. And I'll show you what I mean here in a second. But just because the largest one thus far happens to have been caught on bait fish or whatever the example is, that doesn't mean they're not going to also bite on other things. So here are the local records, and you can kind of go through. So it does look like there's a trout that's been caught on this GT1. So that's different than, you know, again, when I first logged in and tried to play and realized I wasn't going to be able to a couple days ago. The J Glider Fury, I think that's a new jerk lure that's been introduced, and that called a 21 kilo Chinook salmon. So there's just so much to try here. Here's a different fish on the lake. As you can see, we've caught very few of them thus far. And this place is massive, by the way. It's a very large water body. All right, so we've caught one on the 1 and the 2, so we're still waiting on the 3 to do something. Oh, I think that's going to be a fish on. Yeah. Let's see if we can just pull this one in without stopping the motor. I think we're going to be able to. All right, so now I'm going to stop the motor because we also have a fish on the second line. And in case, once again, it's a little larger, let's do that. Now, what would be really curious if this one caught another salmon. And I think that is the case. These are really, really nice models. I like the way these pink salmon look. So that's a regular salmon, still 1600 XP. Okay, one thing I meant to talk about at the beginning, and again, I'm not only physically am I still recovering, but even that has a fish in from just throwing it in. Mentally, even, I'm still a little cloudy from just everything, but one thing I meant to mention, if you're trying to figure out how to get to this water body, it is currently considered an event. So you have to do daily quests that are the special event quests, and once you have 3 of those complete, then you can travel here with a travel token purchased from the store. And I will try to show you those quests here in just a second. And then, of course, once you travel here, you can just stay if you desire. I don't think it kicks you out after a certain amount of time. At least doesn't seem to. Now, eventually, this will be a DLC map, just like the Siberia map was. And so if you want to fish here, you will be required to purchase the DLC. Thankfully, they are at a reasonable price. At least so far, the first one was. But I think probably in an effort to want to allow a lot of testing on the map, and plus it's just how Wolf introduced, the developer introduced the last DLC map, was to first allow everyone to come through an event, and then he gets a lot of data from people fishing there. I presume that's part of why he would do it that way, before he converts it to an actual DLC map. Chance to tweak it with lots of data and all that. All right, there's an Atlantic salmon. Okay, this is actually so far a ton of fun in terms of trolling. This may turn into our new favorite place to troll. I don't know. Let's see. So far, the 3rd lure has not caught a fish. So let's recast that one, but let's give it a little bit more time before we give up on it. We will switch to lure 4 and 5, I think, here shortly, just to see what they're like. But lure 1 and 2 is doing some good job, especially lure 1. We're 2 for 2 on the pink salmon, which seems like a nice thing to catch. And I believe this is going to be something different, if I can tell from the outline here. Yes, that's a brown trout. A nice little brown trout. Okay. So we are ready to start trolling again. But like I said, let's go ahead and recast this fella. Throw him a little farther out there. Just make sure he didn't have any disadvantages keeping him from doing some good work as well. All right, so everybody's in the water. Turn the engine on. up to trolling speeds. A little slower troll. And already another fish on. So we'll at least slow it down a little bit. And again, oh, hey. It's our third one, isn't it? Did we catch something over here? Nope. It was just adjusting to us changing the speed, I guess. All right, we'll recast this real quick. I believe it was on the first line again, wasn't it? Yeah. Something fairly small. And I am hoping that I will now be able to start re-engaging with making some videos here and there. I just I don't have much endurance in terms of being able to sit here for very long, so I'll have to sort of come up with somewhat focused times of doing it. Oh my goodness, there is a fish I've never caught before. Christovomer. Very cool. We have caught a wide variety of fish at this point. Alright, let's get back up to normal speeds here. And I guess let's connect through the right side of this island. And I do really like this boat. Now, there's something to be said for that bass boat. It seems like it's going to be a pretty fast boat, but it doesn't have, you know, rod holders. So it's going to be more about moving around and you know, trying to hit the bass and stuff like that, just spin fishing, but looks pretty cool. So still no fish on the number 3 lure over there. So I think what we'll do now that we've caught yet another one on the first lure is we're going to rotate this one off. Although early, small data, small sample size, but early feedback would be that the number 1 in this new salmon lure series is the way to go. It has the early lead for sure, and it's a significant lead. The bite rate on this number 1 has been terrific, and that's another salmon, and this is the only lure that the salmon has come in on. And we'll see about silver, but at least XP, the salmon seems to be really nice. 1,800 there for a normal green salmon. And well over 3,000 for the large that we caught. Oh, I meant to change that lure. Oh well. We'll give it a little bit longer, I guess. Alright. So we're just kind of trying to keep a little bit over the deeper waters, and then we're going to head over that way and maybe make the circle up here if there's time. I believe that's the first one again. It's really just unbelievable. It's unbelievable the work this one's doing. Alright, I'm going to stop the engine so we can get this one in quicker, and then also we will go ahead and that'll help me remember to switch lures. This is definitely a smaller fish. Looks like it might be another pink salmon though. So somehow this number 1 lure feels to me like it is targeting the pink salmon quite well. Oh, it's a silver salmon. That's a different fish altogether. Alright, so we're going to switch to number 4, which is more of the perch color. There are lake perch here, so you got to believe that the lake perch lure is going to work. And I guess on this one we'll switch to number 5. But I really do want to keep in that number 3 over here on our right side, just to dare it to catch a fish. So far we're 0 for on that one. Okay, so now we've got, in terms of the lure numbers, we've got 4, 5, and 1. This is a good chance for me to show you what I was talking about. If you click on own bases, always do that fast, and if you don't have premium, I don't know that you can do this, but if you do have premium, when you go to your daily quest, you can click on own bases down here. These are the event quests, so there's your normal daily. It basically tells you what the daily is at all the maps, right? But you can also see some of the maps, Germany, Russia, France, Ukraine, Belarus, Poland, have these event dailies as well. They're usually pretty easy, don't take too long to complete, and each one gives you an event badge, and 3 of those badges you turn into the store so that you can travel here to the, I think we finally have a fish on this one, right? Or no, maybe not. Maybe it's just bouncing along the bottom, actually, because we're in a little bit more shallow area. All right, we did catch our first fish, and this is, I'm going to turn the engine off. It's got a little bit of size to it. This is the number 5. So this one's got like a blue and white with a little bit of some black stripes, it looks like, coloration to it. But let's see what we have here. And the map is so large that, you know, it will be really interesting to see if certain parts of the map in terms of trolling these salmon lures do better than others. That line is really going back and forth. I would assume there's got to be a small fish on there or something. We're not moving. Oh, which one is that? Is that the silver? Yeah, large silver salmon, 2300 silver. Very nice. We'll see if there is in fact a fish on here, or if it's just doing some weird bouncing for some reason. Looks like it's just doing some weird bouncing. All right. All right. So we are intentionally, oh my goodness, we're going way faster than I meant to. We are intentionally using the lures that we've caught the least bite rate with just to kind of make sure, see how they're going to do. Obviously, lure number 1 and 2 seemed like it was doing the best, especially 1. But 2's doing all right as well. Oh, finally, guys. We finally have a fish on number 3. This is the pink, the hot pink and white one over here. And it finally caught us a fish, so that's good news. Very slow, and it was out here for a long time not catching anything. It finally did come through for us. Let's see what it is. Looks like another silver to me, but I haven't obviously been fishing these long enough to say for sure. Oh, that's another Atlantic salmon. Okay, that's a regular one. Okay, well, I mean, I think it's safe to say that lure is a little slower than this one. So let's put this one back on. We've got number 1 back on over here, and I think we probably need to go well, actually, we're okay. We'll go a little farther this way, kind of in this channel, basically. And what have we gotten so far? Definitely gotten some fish that I guess we'll keep them long enough to at least see what even the smaller ones are worth at the fish market. I'm going to have to just kind of stand up and move around for a second here, but I'll keep my eye on what's going on. Okay, so let's see where we are on the map. Looks like we do have a fish on. It looks like we're going to want to start moving, though. Yeah, that should be good for now. Do we have more than one, or is it just this one? I think it's just this one. Oh, that's a nice size. It appears. There it is. And this is our first fish on the perch-colored salmon lure, salmon spoon. Well, I'm glad we did this. I was trying to figure out what is something focused I could do where I could at least get some kind of content out there and have some sort of experience here at the new map. And seems like we lucked into something pretty decent here. Oh man, that is a pike, isn't it? That's interesting. So perch colored caught us a pike. A northern pike, and it's a decent size. As you can see, not near as much on XP as some of the other species we've been catching, but perhaps a silver will still be pretty nice. So we'll have to keep track of that. Yeah, you want to do this for a while and start noticing, like, are these different colored lures really targeting certain fish? Seems that way to a degree, but we have a very small sample size right now, so we don't want to jump to any conclusions. So I think right now we would want what? The 1 and the 2, and then I'm not sure about the other one. Maybe the 5. Depends on what else happens on the perch color one. But the 1, the 2, and maybe the 5. What's on this one? This has the 5 on it. So if we wanted to change, it would probably be putting the 2 on our number 1 right now. Alright, so yeah, we're kind of just heading down this area. This seems like a reasonable place. Now these deeper waters out here, I mean, I may not be able to get to it tonight or during this video, but obviously finding out if this is a good place to troll, I mean, this is just such a big area down here. This may be the best spot, but I just don't know yet. I just, you know, when you look at the different fish that are on this lake, the amount of bass species that you have, things like muskie, walleye, sauger, I mean, these are, I can just tell you that from just playing fishing games for a long time and hearing people talk about fishing, these are going to be some favorites of people to go for. But then you have other stuff too here in terms of just great variety. It's a huge map. There's some neat, interesting new baits and lures in the store, including things like these new trout baits. There's a new type of bait fish that you can buy from the store, Shiner live bait. There is 3 different colored maggots, which I'm really curious, not only here, but on other maps, to try to use those. Also mealworms. Just great, like just lots of interesting new options. And then that also brings us to the new lures. We've got basically bass jigs to go with this new place. And because we have bass jigs, we have some new hooks, some jig head types of hooks that have that basically weed-free protection on there, which looks really cool and like something you would use in real life to try to fish for some bass in some grassy area. So it's very cool. I'm very impressed with this new map. I wish that I could have spent some more time here already, but we'll get there eventually. And I would love to hear from you all if you've been fishing here. What have your experiences been like? I know that Wrangler, an old-time friend of mine who's been in my stream and streams himself, in fact, he was just sending me a message earlier that he's been having a great time on this map and targeting some stuff. So would love to hear how you all are doing. So there's another brown trout. And this was on the 1 once again. And where are we? We're kind of getting towards the end of this little area. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, it looks good. And looks like we have a fish on 1. Nope, 2. Maybe both. All right, fish on 2, which is in fact the 5, the number 5 lure. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to wrap this up. So what we'll do here after we get this fish in is we will transport back to town real quick and at least be able to take a look to see what are we talking about in terms of silver and all that. Even just for a short session here, let's see how well we're doing on income. I can tell you just from the fish we've caught, it looks like the experience here is going to be pretty nice. Maybe as far as trolling goes, maybe even comparable to is it Italy? Am I remembering that correctly? There's a large Christopher, almost 2,000 XP. Very cool. Am I remembering that right? Is that the right? Sorry, Finland. Why was I saying Italy? Yeah, not Italy. Trolling at Finland. That would be the comparable, I would think. And Finland has been known as one of the just really nice places if you're into trolling for both money and XP. All right, so let's see how we're doing here. Whoa, we bounced right off into the sunset. All right, so how are we selling fish? Oh, 646 silver very quickly. Yeah, that large brown trout, that's going to be not only XP but a money maker. Looks like if you could get into some decent sized salmon, that's also going to be really nice for silver. Impressive amount for the Christopher. The pink salmon, pretty good, 71, not bad. The pike, better silver than XP. Looks like these large silver salmon, not as much silver as you would hope since silver is in their name, but it all adds up, right? So pretty good first experience here on the new map. And again, let me know how you're doing here. If you are enjoying the USA Thousand Islands, another great piece of content it looks like in terms of Fisher Online. I'm impressed. The timing could not have been worse, but that's just for me personally. I hope you all have been able to enjoy it, and I do look forward to talking to you again soon. And when I'm feeling up to it, I will be continuing to make more videos and also back to the streaming role that I normally have, certainly with RF4, Russian Fishing 4, and perhaps a little bit of Fisher Online as well. Tight lines, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thank you for the support. Peace out.